this train and bound for glory, this train and bound for glory, this train is bound for glory, won't ride nothing but the righteous and the holy, this train is bound for glory, this train. Now this train don't care no gamblers, this train don't care no gamblers, this train don't care no gamblers, no hypocrites, no midnight ramblers, this train don't care no gamblers, this train is bound for glory, this train is bound for glory, this train.
Hey there, my name's David Mays, your host for this edition of Along the Model Railroad Line, program where we talk about the fun you have playing with trains. And I'm having some fun doing this, and I hope you are having fun too. You know, working on your own trains, watching these videos, things like that. Again, been getting a lot of positive feedback about the program. Appreciate that. And so, invite you to go, like, subscribe, leave comments, the routine. But in the meantime, I'm going to talk about a subject I think will be interesting, about how we modelers use our imagination to imagine what our trains are doing. For example, we use imagination to kind of describe, to say what's going, being carried in this boxcar and this tank car. I mean, the boxcar could be carrying, some boxes, manufactured goods, food stuff, whatever, or the tank car could be carrying, gasoline or other chemicals, things like that. But when it comes to things like gondolas and flat cars, the loads or lack thereof are a little more obvious. So we kind of, I can imagine something being carried by these cars, but good news is that we can come up with loads actually, be carried by these cars. And that's actually what I'm going to be doing today with this program. Do a little show and tell about this car. This flat car carrying a load of poles, and this other flat car that goes with it, to kind of, provide some space for the load to hang over the end of the car. So, like I said, that's going to be the subject. Tell you about it here in a minute. In the meantime, invite you to climb aboard. We'll take another trip along the model railroad line. And like I said, talk about how you can load up, add loads to your freight cars. Alrighty, let me tell you a story about this flat car and its load. You got two flat cars, a 50-foot flat car and a 40-foot one, carrying a load of utility poles. Using two cars because the load is too long for the car that's carrying it, so they kind of tacked on an empty car behind it so that the load was hanging over, has some place to go where won't be snagging on another car behind it. A lot of railroads would do this. When they got extra large load like this, I've seen many examples of this. The car itself was inspired again by seeing such cars myself, and also reading an article, 30 years ago or something, about how to do a load like this. The cars themselves, here, I can move that there, so do this. This car itself, this carrying load, is itself just a basic out-of-the-box Athearn 50-foot flat car. Really nothing fancy about it. Car itself is lettered for the Southern Pacific, and its car number is 30259. Now, I don't know if the Southern Pacific ever had a car or a flat car with that number, so don't know how accurate this car is. But, get the effect. The car itself, pretty much just out of the box. The only real changes it made is to put, Kadee couplers on it, Kadee number 5s. Also put Kadee wheel sets on them, Kadee wheels, 33-inch freight car wheels, a metal wheel, plastic axle. Rolls real nice. Also painted the weight underneath here. The load itself is made up of some pieces of wooden dowel in different sizes, painted with polyscale or Floquil grimy black paint, and then just glued together, probably with wood glue. When I originally did this car, I originally thought about using some Chinese chopsticks, because again, I read an article about doing this, and the author had said he'd use these Chinese chopsticks because they got this natural, nice little taper to them, which would represent, of course, what actual utility poles look like. They, made from a tree that when the tree was growing, the base of the tree was a little bigger than the top. And simulate that effect again using these chopsticks. Well, Went around a couple of places, couldn't find any. I mean, I could find ones that were straight, but nothing with that little taper to it. So I just kind of decided, well, I'll just do a little something different. And again, just took some different sizes of wooden dowels, cut them to different lengths, including some, like I said, that hang off the end. As I was saying earlier, paint them poly, grimy black paint and glued them together. The couple little details here at the end, I got a piece of wood, probably made out of a matchstick, that help lifts up this end of the load. So again, we'll clear the deck on this car. The stakes are themselves again made out of strip wood. Most after and flat car kits do come with a package of these stakes that are basically little strips of metal, steel. But I decided to use wooden ones, and to help kind of keep everything in place, I got what looks like thread across the tops here connecting the stakes from opposite sides. Yeah, that simulates, maybe some steel cable or something that's wrapped, again, wrapped around the stakes across the top of the load. Again, kind of help hold everything in place. The idler car, again, is more or less out of box flat car kit from a company called Train Miniatures. They were kind of a competitor with Athearn at one time. Again, produced a lot of nice kits. They went through a name change a couple times. Last I heard, Walthers probably owns all the tooling now, and Walthers was offering these kits along with some other kits for a while. Don't think they're offering them right now, but look on eBay, train shows, things like that. You should be able to find them. Again, cars is 40-foot flat car. Again, more or less built straight from the box. Again, it's loaded for Southern Pacific because I just figured it'd be logical that if this load originated on the Southern Pacific, it makes sense they may try and use their own cars for both cars. And again, it's car number 41965. Yeah, I don't know if the Southern Pacific ever had a car with that number. I know they had some flat cars that were at least similar to this one. Again, some little changes. Again, KD number 5 couplers. Again, got the KD 33-inch wheels under it. Metal wheels again on the plastic axles. Rolls real nice. The trucks themselves are sprung, so it's got that nice little feature. Probably the biggest change I made to this car is had to add some extra weight to it. I mean, this car with all that wood on it, all those wooden dowels, polos, heck, weighs comes, it's got some weight to it. This car had to kind of get creative to put some weight on it. I mean, it comes with a little steel weight, which is underneath here. But what I ended up doing is somebody had given me a box of fishing weights, little round ball-shaped bits of lead, and I ended up taking a bunch of them, taking a little piece of metal, and then hitting them with a hammer to get them to flatten out. So you got all these little lead pancakes hiding underneath here. Just glued them on, again, contact cement. Got some there kind of between the sills right there. Again, didn't have to flatten them as much, but again, had to flatten a little bit, again, fit in there. And as a result, this car, if anything, this car may be a little too heavy. But it tracks well. I think it said brake wheel, not the original brake wheel that came with the kit. I mean, the original brake was like a couple feet across. So this brake wheel, I think, came off of a Tyco flat car. And we'll just kind of tacked it on there, a little bit of contact cement. Something I want to go back to do is go back and trim that, make it a little shorter. I mean, it kind of stands up too high up. And again, kind of fix that wobble. But, yeah, enjoyed putting this kit together, and may have to do another one. So, here, let's put that back on the track. There you go. And again, operationally, how these roads operate these, cars like this when they got a load like that hanging off the end. From what I've read, they would try to have, if this 2 cars were in a train, they try to have this car up front in, the lead position of these 2 as a safety thing, since, if in case the load somehow came loose and the car was, say, going around a curve, these loads hanging over guys stick out to the side a little bit. And by kind of doing it like this, so this is on the trailing end, if it hits anything, it'll kind of just bounce off, as opposed to if it's going the other way, in which case, if it hits something, it'll probably snag it, and then it end up dumping everything on the ground. Have a nice, train wreck. And of course, the train crews will see that in their work orders, on the list of cars they're pulling. And, obviously, if they had to, they'd pull it this way first, to get where it's going. But they try and do it, with this car in the lead as often as practical. So, anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little trip along the Marl River line. I had a chance to tell you the story of this flat car and its pole load, load of utility poles. And of course, why explain why some railroads will use an extra flat car to kind of, give a place for the overhang when the load is, otherwise too long for the car. Uh, and remember, enjoyed putting that car together. Got some ideas for some future projects related to it. I got a wild idea. What I wanted to do is go find another Athearn flat car that just looks like this one, and the detail look a little bit so it looked like it used to have the load on it. The idea being, on the layout, have the train deliver this to wherever its destination, and then pretend that between operating sessions the car is unloaded, and when people come back, they'll see an empty flat car. Just kind of just switch them around, and then the flat cars will be sent back where they need to go. So, and of course, if you have any experience, come up with loads for your flat cars or gondolas or whatever, I invite you to share that down in the comments. Kind of get a little conversation going. So, again, thank you for watching. We'll be back soon. Some more videos. Got some ideas. And like I said, stay tuned, and we'll climb aboard, take another trip along the Marl River line. In the meantime, y'all have a good day. We'll talk soon. Bye.
This train bound to Florida.